Hey y'all, you remember me? It's your old cartoon pal, Dark Spidey 34. This video is essentially just an update for a new system I'm developing in terms of how I'm going to upload videos for the foreseeable future. Just stick with me, guys. Okay. How about for like a month or so? I work on shorter videos, but at the same time, slowly but gradually working on episode 31, which I've named Regeneration Part 1. If the name, wasn't so freaking obvious by the previous episode. At the end of that time period, at the end of at the end of the series of months, I will release whatever number of videos I could create in that time. Of course, the minimum will probably be around 2 or 1 videos, shorter videos. 1 or 2 videos, I'm sorry. Probably even 3. It could range from a month or 2 months. It shouldn't take that long, but it shouldn't really take all that long with the big old amazing Lego Spider-Man episodes. As I stated before, the episodes do not need to be an hour long, so they'll be about 30 minutes long. But every single time I start an episode, I say to myself, there is no way I'm going to get this episode over 30 minutes in length. And what do you know? I make a 40 or an hour long or an hour and a half long video. So when I start these things, it's a much different picture than when I actually get into this idea I have for an episode and I really expand upon it. So if I say like season 3, I don't have enough ideas for season 3. That's just because the ideas I have for season 3 right now are relatively small and I have not had the chance to really expand upon them. So you have to really imagine my position at the beginning of season 3, like 2 years ago. I thought to myself, how am I going to expand upon this? And I really, really did in a way I did not see coming. So maybe season 4 will be longer than I anticipated at this point in time right now. But I didn't mention this before. I didn't really co-write episode 31, or co-writing it, I should say. I worked on the story with my friend Sam, and he provides additional voices and the voice of Eddie Brock in the series. We collaborated, we tossed the ball around, discussed ideas, and I was really trying to get him a good heads up on where the story is going, where it's been, if there was something he was unclear about with the show, because if he's going to, if we're going to toss around ideas for the next episode, he needs to know more about the show and get some insight with the characters, the overarching story, the next story arc, and where we could go from there. Getting that all out there, having him take notes. It was his idea to take notes, actually. That's extremely important for a collaborative project, and I felt much better. I can't really discuss the series as much as I would like to at lengths with you. I mean, I can talk about it, but I can't go into spoiler territory as much as I would like. And I felt much better getting it out there, because in other instances when I talked about the show with my friends, I felt like I was just rambling on about stuff, and I think I would just change the subject to something else. I don't really remember. In fact, I would try to keep this show a secret if I could, but if the person was cool with it, I'd be like, yeah, I do this sometimes as a hobby. But it felt really good to just like the most intricate details of the show, just to get that all out there. Some stupid ideas, some deep ideas, whatever. Getting that all out there felt great. As I stated before, he's not writing the episode. He just co-story. Me and him co-story, and I write the episode. And there's something really important about episode 31. About a year ago, a little less than a year ago, I asked for detailed constructive criticism of where the show is. And this is up to episode 29. It was that point in time, obviously. And it was, really detailed, really great, constructive criticism of the show. The series itself has a lot of turning points, because I started making this when I was 14 years old, and I grow up as I make these. So whenever there's a turning point in the way the show's written, how I act, the story structure, that's me maturing. So while other kids are just, glued to their cell phones or their MySpace or their Facebooks and all that useless junk, at that time I was working on this. So you can see where my mind is at with some of the episodes, with some of the dialogue at the time. And that's a good thing and a bad thing, because it gets kind of embarrassing if you don't really like that point in time in your life. Like, oh God, that's way too edgy. I don't know why I put that in there. Stupid kid. I hate the younger version of myself. But at other points I go, you know what? I wasn't that stupid as a kid. It's actually kind of nice. So and the commentaries on my other channel actually give a great opportunity to do so. A turning point in episode 31, however, is not one of maturity, but one of tone. One of the many points this guy made in his comment back to me, a lot of really good points, but this one really stuck out to me, was the tone of the show. And he thought I should probably scale it back a bit, because it was getting not dark relative to more mature stuff on the internet, or even in movies or in television or in comic books, but it's dark relative to other Spider-Man stuff. But even to other Spider-Man stuff, I don't think the show is that dark, especially not Ultimate Spider-Man or even Spider-Man the new animated series. I mean, I go there sometimes, but I'm not consistently depressing, and I seriously doubt the show will end as depressingly as the new animated series ended, or indeed Peter Parker's story in Ultimate Spider-Man. That wasn't really depressing, it was sad. There's a difference between a sad ending and a depressing ending. A depressing ending is where everyone dies horribly, and a sad ending is where one or two characters die. I think that's the big difference there. And I don't think the show is going to end like that. It's too soon to tell. But the show itself is not all that dark. It has its dark moments, but it's not all out depressing, I think, for the most part. And I, of course, disagree with some notions of what people would consider grimdark and depressing in today's films. I think, my personal opinion, of course, that some people are confusing grimdark with taking the subject matter relatively seriously. And by relatively, I mean compared to the comic books or TV show or other films. But I don't feel depressed when I watch the Dark Knight trilogy. It's actually one of the most hopeful and uplifting Batman stories in terms of film I've seen. And it's an overarching story. You see beginning, middle, and end. And I think that's kind of nice. I don't really see it's depressing. But the show, I think being grimdark and gratuitous is if you show the violence. And I make a habit of not showing people die all that much. It's just off screen. You don't see the impact of a knife. You don't, I don't think anyone's been shot. Or you don't see anyone shot. I don't remember. And when you see people blow up, you don't really see, bits and pieces and bloody bricks fly across the screen. So I try to stray away from getting too gratuitous, but not getting too soft either. There's a middle ground, very hard to achieve. With episode 31, that it's going to get lighter. It's a resting point. We can take a break, take a breather from the events in the last episode, and you can see that with the characters' dialogue, with how the characters react to what's happened, because it's not like it didn't happen. It did happen, and you can show them recuperating from it. You can feel we sort of settle down, and now we're gonna slowly rise back up. Not too much, not too little. That's what I have planned. It's not that easy, but hopefully you guys will like it. The auditions for the show, I don't know if I stated this. I usually hold auditions, and by usually I mean the second time ever, I hold auditions for parts of the show the weekend after I finish the script, because that's when I know for sure that certain parts and certain characters are still needed in the story, because I can eliminate some characters if I don't see them fitting into the overarching story, or if I need to add in characters that weren't there originally, because it helps the story, makes it more fluid, and makes it stronger. So it's the weekend I finish the script, because that's when I know everything's in place. And there are characters, that positions that can be filled at the time being, but I don't want to make them open yet because I don't know if it's still going to work. So I have to wait until the script is done. Well, I'm sorry, you'll have to wait until the script is done. I don't have to wait. I have to work on the script. So that's how it's going to go down. So keep in mind, until the schedule's going to work, that's how I'm working on the next episode. And next month, keep an eye out for those videos. I'll probably upload them weekly if I can. The next couple of videos will involve Miles Morales, Superman, and a bonus one, RoboCop. That's right, Lego RoboCop. Keep your eyes peeled, because it's not just a crappy remake of a trailer, that's a remake of a movie. It's a parody of the remake that was a satire. You know what, forget it. Keep your eyes peeled. Hopefully this new system will work and be a lot more efficient than do whatever I want for half a decade. All right, thanks for listening and watching.